Welcome. You're now listening to episode 19, Style of Play Football. As always, the dynamic duo, Theo and Kojo. How you doing, Kojo, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, man. How you doing?
You got the United top on. I feel you feeling brave this weekend. You got a fixture this weekend. You're in the FA Cup still.
We're in the FA Cup against Liverpool.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you got a big game there.
Yeah.
You got
brave is not the word I'm feeling right now. I can't lie, man. I opened the wardrobe and was there.
The first thing that come to mind, I hear that one. But no, man, I'm good, you know. Good result in the week. Did we play in the week? Oh, Monday. I feel like, we played Monday. Newcastle, very good game. But yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. What are you saying?
Yeah. Well, did we win the weekend? Yeah, Everton. Bloody hell. Yeah, we did. Nice. Yeah, 2-0.
Yes, yeah. Two penalties, two soft penalties, man. Two soft penalties.
Yeah.
They were soft, man. No, when I say soft, I mean from an Everton perspective, they were very, very easy to avoid. Garnacho done very well for both of them. I think it was Godfrey and Tarkowski that gave the first one away. Very, very avoidable. Like obviously,
Godfrey's one idiot.
He just lunged in. He knew that he either lets him go past or he's going to take him out. And I don't know if he thought maybe I'm outside the box, I can maybe get give a free kick away. But when you're playing at the top of the game, top of the Premier League, whatever, you can't be lunging in like that, man. He should know better as well. Godfrey, I like him. Good player.
Yeah, no, I agree. He plays well, but man, he can hold that. So
he can hold that. You can hold that 100%. But if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the podcast, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you go to the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also hit the notification bell over there as well so you don't miss an episode. But we're going to start with where we kind of left off last week. We were talking about Jeremy Doku, Manchester City. Have they signed a dud? You know, when we finished recording last week, actually, I was kind of thinking, I don't want to talk about Doku in a harsh way. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I'll criticize him, yeah, but he does a lot of good things. But he's very predictable. Do you know what I mean? Like there's things where I watch him and I think this guy is just. I know he's either going to cut in. He's going to do a little. You know who he reminds me of actually? He reminds me of Ronaldo. Not in terms of like. He just reminds me of. He's very raw. Do you know what I mean? And he reminds me of that Ronaldo that when he first came to the league. He was just different, do you know what I mean? And maybe that's what it is about Doku that I don't really get. I'm not warming to yet. Is that there's a player in there. He's definitely got loads of quality. Like he's shown that already for City, but he's very predictable. Like I know sometimes he's going to cut in, or if he's not going to cut in, I know he's just going to try and use his speed, and then he'll run out of space, and then it goes out for a goal kick or a corner, or he doesn't get the ball into the box. What's your thoughts on Doku for the price tag as well that City have paid for him? He's only 21 as well. We've got to pay that in mind. But
what's the fee again?
I feel like it was like 60 something million. I think it was quite a relatively low fee for him. Well, in grand scheme of things, I think it was like 60 to 70 million.
No, he's not a bad player at all. And the thing is, I always say, we always criticize players because we feel like players should be doing better here and there. But the reality is, if you're playing from a level of a championship above, you've got a good level of quality. That's why you had those kind of levels of football. My issue with Doku is not only his unpredictability, but his end product. And I think football is in a stage, not even a stage, but a lot of players are admired for what they do before rather than what they do after. So it's all about, he beat this guy, he's electric, because when he gets the ball, he's always going straight at his fullback. And it's great. That's what you want. You want an attacking winger, someone that can go inside, that can go outside, that can use his quick feet to get past many players. He's a bit of trickery. He's not really a step over type of guy, but he's more of a, the shoulder run type player. And I do like that about him. But end product is a big thing for me. And you're not always going to get every cross correct. You're not always going to get every shot correct. But I ask, and this is very low, I asked for 4 out of 10 to be good. And I think we get about 2 out of 10 good from him. And after his day where he scored, I think 2, he scored a hat-trick one time for City already in the league. I think he had a game where he went crazy. He had hat-trick goals. He had like 2 or 3 assists. He had 4 assists in the game. That's the one. He had 4 assists in the game. And, he electrified and the fans were happy. I said electrified like it's The Rock. But he had a great time. He had a great time on the pitch. But after that, again, it's not about trying to be like Sulis to say I expect 4 every game, but it's more just saying, what's the next stage? What am I going to see from you? And I don't see that. And it might be because maybe he's someone that needs continuity with City. It's always a rotational system. You're not always going to start. Sometimes it's going to be Jack Grealish. Sometimes it's going to be you. Could be Foden on the left as well. But that, for me, is not my issue. My issue is when you're on the pitch, with the excitement you got, and for the comments of people saying that you're bringing real wingers back, are you going to be that guy? And I don't look at him and see he's that guy. I hope I'm wrong, but in the future, I don't think he's going to be that guy. So, he's not a bad player. I think he is a good player. I'm not going to lie on his name, but I just think I'm not utterly convinced by Jeremy Doku just yet, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard because I feel that I agree with everything you said. I feel that he's one of those players that definitely brings something to that City squad. And yeah, I remember the game he got it was like 4 assists or something mad. Like he scored, and his goal scoring record for a winger first season in the league. Like I expect it to be a little bit better. I can't remember what his record is now. I don't think he's hitting mad numbers. He's definitely assisted a lot more, obviously, because I think he got more than multiple in one game. But I just look at him as a player, and I don't know if he's going to fit into this system at City in a long run. They've obviously got Jack Grealish there, like you said about the rotational and not really getting that consistent run of games. But to be honest as well, I think if Pep's smart, he'll use Doku more than he would Grealish. I think he offers a lot more than Grealish will on that left side, and I think obviously you can have Foden on the other side. You got Alvarez as well that can play sort of in the middle of them as well. Bernardo Silva's there. De Bruyne can play in that role as well in the middle. So on the left, you're looking at 2 options. I'm looking at, obviously they can swap around, but you're looking predominantly Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, and I think he's a really good player. But I just, like you said, I just think if I was a defender, if I was a right back, he's only got 2. He's got 2. He's got option A and option B. Option A is cutting. I'm already onto that already because I can tell. You can just tell from when you watch him. I haven't watched him live yet, but when you watch him on the TV, you can just watch that he's going to cut in. So as a defender, right, okay, he's going to switch the ball onto his right foot and cut in and whatever. You can deal with that. Just see him out, make sure he doesn't get the ball into the box. The other one's even easier because if he's going to go out on the outside and he's going to try and go as far down the line as possible and then cut in or cross the ball in, just stand him up. Don't go in for a tackle. Just stand him up and he'll see the ball out, or he'll have to pass it back to whoever's behind him. So for me personally, those kind of wingers are so easy to play against. Or I'm saying it like I played at the top game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I played at the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of I'm just watching him, I can only imagine, especially in the Premier League, it's so easy to play against players like him at the moment because he hasn't got any like trickery or any, do you know what I mean? He hasn't got anything that comes with the speed for me. And
yeah, that's why I'm with you. It's what comes with the speed. It's not. He uses his speed very well. He knows how to use his speed, and that's why I mentioned about dropping the shoulder. Because if you drop the shoulder while against the fullback, catching him is a problem. He knows how to beat you.
A good fullback is 2 steps ahead. You don't have to be the fastest.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to be the fastest fullback to be able to deal with someone who's got a bit of speed. You just got to be on the ball with them.
But the question is, how many good fullbacks do we have now? When you think about playing week in, week out, you're not playing the top teams every week. And that's not me saying the top teams always have the best fullbacks, because you can say, so for example, maybe Villa with maybe like Digne, for example, he's a very good left back. He's there, Villa are playing very well, but you wouldn't consider Villa a top 6 team if you would. But that's it's the bit after that always concerns me, and that's where I'm just a bit iffy with him. And we're talking about stats. I'm not a stats person, but for people that are stats people, he's got 5 assists in the Premier League this season, which is not bad. It's actually not bad. But when you consider that 4 of them came in one game, it means your output for the rest of the season has been a very comme ça. And that's where my issue is. If I get the game up, he's even scored. So he scored 1 and assisted 4 against Bournemouth in the 6-1 win at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bournemouth as well. You got to add that context in that it's Bournemouth. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but it's Bournemouth. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you expect to do that to them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially at home as the dominant side. The other assist came against Brighton. He got a goal against West Ham. but that's 3 games. And with one that you were absolutely one man of the match, you were fantastic. But the rest of the games, you're not impacting it. And looking at his minutes as well, he started quite a lot of games this year as well. So, it's not for lack of time. Like I said, there's a rotational system, and you don't know whether you're starting or not. But I'm looking at the minutes and I'm thinking you weren't dropped enough to lose rhythm. Obviously, you had the injury mid-season. That does affect things, but I just think, should just be a little bit better. For the stats people, we want a bit more. And for the eye test people, he is exciting to watch, but is he a player that you consider can help you as key man go to titles? Obviously, City are City. So if he wasn't there, I can strongly say that Jack Grealish or somebody else carry the man to be fine. But if you're there, can City look at you and say, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7 years time, Doku will still be our guy? He's a young boy, so he could be. But right now, I'm not convinced.
And this is the worry when you're at City. It's almost like the clock starts ticking as soon as you sign for them. Like, you don't really, unless you're like Kevin De Bruyne, even like Erling Haaland, like there's already talk about him leaving City. Do you know what I mean? Possibly going to Real Madrid. But you have to be in a particular position on the pitch, like a Kyle Walker that doesn't necessarily always get replaced. Like, you kind of need Kyle Walker in that position because you know he can do the job there and he's been doing it for so many years. But in those forward areas, like City aren't scared to replace you. Like, they're not scared. I remember the season they brought in 2 goalkeepers when they weren't happy. Do you know what I mean? I think they replaced like the goalkeepers that they had a couple of seasons ago. So they're not scared to just go out and fish out. And obviously with the PSR now and all that stuff, it kind of changes things. But they're not scared to go out and get another winger. One of the key things I watch with Doku as well is defenders double up on him so much, and that's how you're supposed to. If if you haven't got the speed of a right back, your centre back is supposed to help you out there. A lot of the time, he's getting doubled up on all the time. And I've started to notice that with Saka now as well. Defenders will double up. I can't remember what game was it. Brentford the other week I was watching, and anytime Saka got the ball, it didn't matter when and how he was trying to get this ball into the box, he was always doubled up on. And that's basic things they teach you in defending anyway. But when you've got someone like Doku, who apparently has got really good dribbling success rates and stuff, I don't really check all those kind of stats, but from what I've been told, he's got really good dribbling success stats and all the rest of it. I just think he needs to add something else to his game. And I think then he might actually keep Jack Grealish. I think he's injured again, Jack Grealish, but he might keep him out of the team because I think he's got something about him, but he just needs to add that final quality, that final brilliant ball into Haaland or Alvarez into that box. And I think he's got something, but at the moment, I'm looking like, I think it was 55 million. I think it was 55 million actually. It's come back to me. I think they paid 55. I'm thinking 55 million for this 21-year-old. It's a bit of a gamble, man. If he was at Chelsea, I think we'd be calling it a massive gamble. Do you know what I mean? Because he's at City, I feel like he's getting away with that.
Well, this is the City element, because if you consider how City have spent, I'll only factor in the Pep era.
Yeah.
Players that came in for the first year and it didn't work out, we can call them flops, but they don't get the highlight that you'd expect from them. Let me put it to you like this, basically. If Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea sign a player, and I'll put Arsenal in that as well because Arsenal do get a lot of heat, sign a player and it doesn't work out, the pressure is multiplied because everyone's looking at these 4 teams as the most hated teams in the country. So it's one of those, if you don't play well, the eyes are on you, what's going on. It's why Enzo Fernandez, despite coming to first full year in a new league, in a new environment, very far, the fee is not his problem. If the clubs agree that fee for him, that's not him saying, I am worth that money. It's just what they agree. The pressure's on him tenfold. If he went to City, I'm not saying the pressure wouldn't be on him, but when you're part of a winning system, no one really cares whether you're worth 55 million or 5 million. It's just what it is. But also, City are in a position where this is how I see it. I don't know if people think I'm wrong or not. It is what it is. Their neighbours became the most despised in the country because they were winning so much and they had a manager that people feared, so much so that there's a theory that, everyone feared him, and that's where Man United got a lot of breaks and whatever. And then you've got this team who were the quite the noisy neighbours. They were the small side. They were never that good, those guys, and they've taken over the city. And because the nation hates the red side so much, they enjoy the success of the blue side so much. And the only time they're criticised is really, it's when people actually want to analyse what's going on. It's like you got Ian Wright, who is asked about Man City and how they're playing, and he said, "Oh, they're doing great, but guys, why is no one talking about the 115 charges? This is something that is shadowing them." But it's true. It's true. Because you're seeing it on social media, but social media is just us talking. When you're talking about, other characters, in the moment when it becomes news, yes, let's talk about 115 charges. Within a week, it's done.
But that's news anyway, isn't it? That's just like news today's news is tomorrow's history. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But the point I'm making is, if Man United or Chelsea or Arsenal had those or Liverpool had those 115 charges,
it'd be a big thing.
It would be reoccurring news week in, week out. If the club's winning the way City were winning, it was, oh yeah, they're doing great, but can we ignore the 115 charges at this point? What's been going on there? Man United have had pathetic ownership for almost 20 years now. It's 18 years the Glazers have been there. And the news is still continuing news today. Do you know what I mean? It's all circumstantial, but...
Do you think that's because City aren't classed as like I know they're a top club, but I don't mean in terms of success and whatever else. I'm talking like from a fan base perspective. People don't really see City as like do you know what I mean? Like, this is going to sound so stupid, but they're not considered a threat. And I don't mean in terms of being able to win the league or the FA Cup, because they can. They're clearly the biggest threat. But I mean in terms of like, maybe because I'll try and put it like this. Maybe like when the Premier League first set up, they had the rivalries with Arsenal, United. You had a Liverpool, Chelsea rivalry in the early 2000s and all that. So we're kind of like, we've been enemies for time. Do you know what I mean? No one really batted an eyelid when it was City coming through, because City were just City. Do you know what I mean? But now that they're kind of trying to push into that kind of, we want to be fighting with each other as well. Do you feel like they're kind of like the little brother to the big brothers in terms of, we've already had our rivalries time ago, like, you know what I mean? Fergie, Wenger, all them days then as well. No one was asked about City, and still isn't. Like, no one, there's no real, like, even your derby isn't, like, yeah, it's a derby, do you know what I mean? But your derby really is like, this weekend, it's going to be more like bitterness between you and Liverpool than there is against you and City. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if a rivalry is going to become the biggest rivalry, the legacy needs to be built. And
exactly, that's it.
And City have been ultra successful from, I'd say, 2012 onwards, obviously, when they won the league. So, considering that's 12 years, and you talk about Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, who have had a lifetime of success, essentially. The rivalry doesn't mean the same. It's building, but that's the whole point I was making. That rivalry is still, everyone enjoys, or is starting to enjoy that rivalry now, because they are enjoying the fact that City are better than United. It's not 100 years or 50 or 30 years of hated rivalry. It's local rivals, they're neighbours. And if City beat Man United back in the day, it was considered a big shock, but it was forgotten about, because the new City weren't a threat. Now City are a threat on the pitch, but Man United are no longer as big a threat on the pitch. They're enjoying the element of that being changed. But City fans, a lot of City fans, not all of them, but a lot of City fans still enjoy their tag as the underdog. City are still the underdog of the city. City are still the underdog in their eyes. Like, oh, we were never supposed to be here. So now that we're here, we're enjoying it. And that's literally what we're doing. We're enjoying it. We're not trying to be like United. We're not trying to be, but in reality, you are. Because you're trying to be more, everything comes down to trying to be bigger than United, trying to be better, meaning we're successful. I saw recently that they've overtaken, what team was it? In major honours. It might be you guys.
Yeah, it will be.
Major honours. I think they've done it now because they won the Champions League recently, innit? So I think they've done it overall, which is fine. That's not a problem. But your whole thing is to try and get to that Liverpool Man United level where you're literally sitting side by side with them.
Yeah.
and you're saying who's the most successful team in the country. But in order to do that, you have to also realize that you're trying to be like your neighbors, where you are a worldwide juggernaut, where
But
finances
they're not going to be that. They can't be that because
Well,
their fan base isn't big enough. Do you know what I mean? Like you could go to like the tiniest hole in, I don't know, whatever country that doesn't really follow football or what, don't have TVs or whatever. And you send that shirt to them, they'll know it's Manchester United. For anyone who's not on the YouTube, Kojo's wearing United top today. But so you could send that top to them and they'll know it's Manchester United. You send them a City top, they might think it's Ipswich or Coventry City or someone like, do you know what I mean? No disrespect either. I just think because it's only now recently because Haaland's there, because, do you know what I mean? But they like the history that United have got is going back years in the Premier League. Years and years of being dominant in the Premier League. Same with Arsenal. Like we can't even put ourselves in that conversation as Chelsea because we had some good runs, but our history isn't the same as United and Arsenal. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think me personally, I think that's where their conversation stops because they're doing really well now. They're obviously winning things. They're doing this, that, the other. They just won this, they won that. But if you're talking about legacy and history and since 1992, they're little man. They're little man in the frying pan, man. What are we doing?
That's the whole point. And again, to that point, Man United have had more history before 1992. That's not saying City haven't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But for anyone that remembers, City's, I'm not a City fan, so they can tell me that I'm wrong. For my knowledge, their biggest claim to fame was getting Dennis Law to San City and then relegate United with his goal. That was for me, but I'm not a United fan. That's what I grew up on. I don't know for City history growing up as a Man United fan. That's not my concern. So I could be very wrong.
And man said the biggest history is getting their rivals relegated. You know,
Crazy. I could be wrong. But, hey, man.
City fans, let us know, man. Let us know if he's wrong.
Yeah, man. Let us know, man. They're going to tell me that I'm jealous, man. But, hey,
let's move on because I was shocked when I read this early this week. But Gareth Southgate's announced his England squad for the upcoming. Are these friendlies that he's playing now? I don't even know. I'll be honest. I don't think they're friendlies. I think before the warm up games, but he's picked a squad which, I mean, there's no Calvin Phillips, so he's done something right. But when I look at this squad, and I'm going to go through it now very quickly. So he's got Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale as the goalkeepers, which I think is a given. Jarrod Branthwaite, which I'm happy about. Ben Chilwell, who's currently injured for Chelsea. Although he's back in training. Lewis Dunk, Joe Gomez, Ezri Konsa, Harry Maguire, John Stones, and Carl Walker's defenders. Now this is where it gets a bit mad, and it's kind of Gareth Southgate, so you kind of have to expect this year. But he's gone for five midfielders, only 5 midfielders: Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, James Maddison, Declan Rice, and of course his friend. His lovely friend Jordan Henderson has made the squad somehow.
His best friend,
his best buddy. Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Cole Palmer, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney, and Ollie Watkins, who might actually have to pull out after his injury yesterday, have all made the squad. Now, I'm going to be honest. First of all, I'm shocked that Ruben Loftus-Cheek isn't in that squad because he's playing well. I think he scored again yesterday in Europe for AC Milan. Tomori, who I think has just come back from a big injury, but he's back in the squad. He's doing well for AC Milan as well. I would have had those two in there. Henderson in the squad still. Bit mad for me, but what's your thoughts going into this? I mean, first of all, is this a squad that can go on and win a tournament, an international tournament?
This current squad? Nah.
I love that, you know. I love the way you didn't really think about it. You knew the answer before you said it. You just wanted to bide your time a little bit.
Yeah, because I was looking at the names again. I was just thinking, is this am I missing something? No. Look, a team that has a midfield of Bellingham, Maddison, and Rice, I think is great. I'm just going to put it out there. The forward options are great. Bowen's in form, Foden's in form, Gordon's in form, Hayes always in form, Palmer's in form, Rashford. Yeah, but when Rashford wants to score, Rashford can score goals. Bukayo Saka, not being absolutely great for me this year, but he's contributing numbers, which means he's still important. Tony's come back, started well, and Ollie Watkins is getting goals. No problem. Defensively, Stones, I'm a big fan. Braithwaite, I'm a big fan, but he's new. Kyle Walker's experienced. Ben Chilwell, I like him, but also, again, very injury prone. Joe Gomez, I think is okay. But this is where it is. It's okay. And I feel like Southgate is not brave enough. At this point, I'm calling it bravery. I'm not talking about being friends with these guys anymore. I just don't think he's brave enough to make the changes that need to be made. Your goalkeeper is options are limited. I got no issue with that. When Nick Pope comes back, he won't see Sam Johnson in that squad. So that is what it is. Lewis Dunk and Brighton in general have been a nightmare this year. Ezri Konsa has dropped form, even though Villa are playing well, but he's dropped form. Harry Maguire is not starting games again. Conor Gallagher is scoring some goals for Chelsea at important moments to help them win the game or get a draw, but consistent? No. Jordan Henderson. In the words of a very idiotic lady that went on Newsnight when we were talking about Diane Abbott, I want to kiss my teeth and say that's my culture. Stupid girl.
I think I know who you're on about. I haven't watched it, but I feel like I know who you're on about.
When you see it,
did someone have to explain to her why was this where someone had to explain to her why the person that they were talking about was being racist, even though she should know what racism is? Is that the same woman or is this a different woman?
Different woman.
Okay.
The one you're talking about, I don't even mention her name. I don't even mention her. Yeah. That name doesn't come out of my mouth. I know you're talking about her. I refuse to say her name. I refuse to say it. Oh, man.
Crazy.
But, look, there is enough in that squad as an 11 to go on and win games, and you've got enough attacking options to cause trouble for most teams. But it's what's behind you. That's my issue, man. It's what's behind you. I'm not mad at John Stones and Braithwaite. I'm not mad at that. But Colwell in the squad, baffling.
Yeah.
Kobe Manu and Harvey Elliott are selected for the under-21s, and I get it. But Jordan Henderson, and it's friendlies as well. So you can remove Jordan Henderson and put one of the youngsters in there. Manu doesn't know if he's going to play for England or Ghana right now. But if you're England, if you're Southgate, what you do is put him into the squad and say, look, it's friendlies. You're going to get 2 caps, or you might get 1 cap. You might come off the bench, but come and experience it, see how you feel, get some minutes. Thank him, because even if he doesn't want to play for England after, because it's friendlies, so he can qualify for Ghana regardless, at least he tried. Jordan Henderson. The same Jordan Henderson that was getting asked questions on Dutch TV after another
the pressure.
The pressure they put on him.
Pressured him, you know. Like,
pressured him.
He forgot his good boy routine. He was getting hassled, didn't it?
Getting cooked, and he was dancing around the question like he's Michael Gove. Shambles.
He was
absolute
pressured,
shambles.
man. The man said we put in a bad performance. Yeah. And what? Oh, that was funny. But
they got fried, man.
No, I agree with you 100%. I do. I think I was just looking at the under-21 squad when you mentioned Kobe Manu and Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott, for me personally, more so, should be in that seeding squad because he's been putting in really good performances. Jarrell Kwanzaa as well for Liverpool. I know he's kind of in that sort of bracket to play in the under-21s, but he could easily be in that the senior squad as a defender. I feel like the reason he's only taken those 5 midfielders, I'm not going to be surprised to see John Stones playing in midfield and doing what he's doing for City, for England. I've got a feeling that's why he's taken so little midfielders.
It's a bad idea.
It's a massive bad idea because you can do that when you're Pep and you've got the players around you to do. But looking at that squad now, you can't play how Pep plays for City with that England squad and move John Stones into that midfield because it won't work. And he should know that already. But before we move on, Ben White, who I think was expected to be selected, told Gareth Southgate he doesn't want to be selected for England, which I kind of get. Apparently, I was speaking to some Arsenal fans. They said basically, Ben White don't fuck with Gareth Southgate. Simple as that.
Well, so they England or Southgate released something after saying that there's no beef, and he got a call from Edu saying that Ben White doesn't want to be selected currently. So I took that as one of 2 ways. Either he doesn't want to play under Southgate, or considering how Arsenal are playing right now, maybe he considers the Arsenal running more important, which that's happened in the past. You know, Man United used to do it subtly where our players would be injured and then more than happy to play the week after for the club. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's one of those ones. But
I heard as well that there's beef between Ben White and Steve Holland. And I think that's the ultimate reason why he doesn't want to be selected. I think it's something to do with Steve Holland. They had like a heated exchange. I don't know if this stems back to, because you remember when he was at the Qatar World Cup, didn't he come home early?
Yes, he did. Yeah, yes, he did. Yes.
So I feel like it stems back from then. And I don't know what's happened, but obviously something's happened. But I think again, what you just said is correct as well. I think he just doesn't want to be selected whilst that coaching hierarchy's there with Southgate and all the backroom coaching staff as well. And I'll be honest as well, as much as I dislike Ben White, sorry, that's a really harsh thing to say, but something about the guy I just don't like, and it just, I don't know what it is. But as a player, he's doing really well. Really, really well as a player for Arsenal. So he could actually be someone that England could actually do well with in terms of, you know, that right side. He's filled in at the right side really well for Arsenal. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But I look at that squad and, you know, the strikers, like you said, very, very all in form, really. I think there'll be some absentees probably for Ollie Watkins, who scored a really good header yesterday against Ajax for Villa, but I think he came off. He done his knee. It looked really bad. He done his knee before he scored the goal, which was mental. But
yeah,
he tried to carry on. Didn't work for him. Ben Chilwell should not be anywhere near this England squad because he is Weetabix legs.
Weetabix legs.
He is another Reece James waiting to happen.
Weetabix legs.
He can't play 2 or 3 games, man. Seriously. So he should be in the squad.
That's brilliant.
He should not be in the. Honestly, he should not be in the squad at all. He should not be there. Bukayo Saka, of course. Ivan Toney, of course. Ivan Toney, I'm a bit. I don't know, man. I think he's just there to make numbers. But we have to see. We have to see how that pans out.
He's been alright, but he's been alright since he's come back.
He has. I mean, he nearly scored that brilliant goal against Arsenal. If that goal had gone in, I think it's almost from the halfway line. If that had gone in, that would have been goal of the season so far. So yeah, he's doing well there. But let's move on. Because obviously in the next 20 minutes or so, before we'll finish recording by then. But the Champions League draw takes place today. It's meant to start at 11, but you know how these things go. It's probably going to start about 1:30 once they do their sponsorships and try to do as much, squeezing more money out of everything as they usually do. But let's talk because, man, I feel this is probably. I mean, I wasn't looking forward to the Champions League. I'll be honest. Obviously, Chelsea are not in it, but I'm looking at this and thinking there's some really good games that could come out of these draws.
Yeah,
it's hard to obviously predict them. I'm not saying that we can do that in the next 20 minutes or so, but you just look at the teams that are there now. I think I've got this correct actually. Arsenal, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Man City, PSG, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, they did. They beat Inter Milan, didn't they? And Borussia Dortmund as well. So not really to predict. Is there any particular predictions or fixtures that you would like to see out of those 8 teams?
Personally, I'd like to see the English clubs go head to head, Man City and Arsenal. Reason being, I'm intrigued to see how that goes over 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arsenal beat them at the Emirates, didn't they? Do I remember correctly?
Yes, I think they did.
They did. Yeah. Arsenal have had a wretched history in Champions League. I say in recent years, not been recent. It's been a while since they've been in the Champions League, but their last couple of runs in the Champions League have been quite disastrous. But it's always because they were facing Bayern or Barca at their peak, and it was just hell for Arsenal. But this Arsenal team, the way they're playing right now, it's interesting to see if they can deal with City. And City will come as overriding favourites because they're the current holders. So if you're in a title race, this is where you have to manage your Champions League and Premier League expectations. Are you going to be able to challenge for both? Are you going to challenge for one? Let's see what you do. That's the one game I want to see. The other game I want to see, looking at the teams here, is PSG versus Barca. Because I genuinely believe that Barca will beat PSG on this occasion. I know the fact of Mbappe, but I don't think that PSG team is good. I don't.
No. It's not good at all. I think it has elements of quality in it, but I look on paper, and I'll be honest, I put my hands up. I haven't really watched much of Barcelona this season, but I especially if they get the draw. Obviously, they're not at the new camp at the moment, but if they get the draw, a home draw first, Barcelona, I would say that they could easily go into that second leg comfortably with a nice aggregate score.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm going to say this right now. I say this all the time when I feel chesty about it. Doesn't matter who they get. Real Madrid are winning the whole competition.
Do you know, I was just thinking that. I was thinking, for me personally, the way I can see the draw going now is Arsenal would get Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich would.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick, wouldn't it? Really? Think about it as well. At home, the Emirates at home as well. The first leg. Bayern would get Barcelona. City will get PSG. And Dortmund will get Atletico. That would set up the semis very nice as well, because
it would.
I think if you do that, I think you'd get Real Madrid, Barca, City, and possibly Atletico get into the semi-final. And then it could leave an all-Spanish final. It could leave a City, Madrid final. Do you know what I mean? City, Barca, Atletico are there as well. So I think we need to get, basically what I'm trying to say, sorry Arsenal fans, I think we need to get rid of Arsenal in this round. We don't really want them in the semis, and then potentially
you don't want to see them there. You're not interested in seeing them there.
Come on, I think Real Madrid though. I think Real Madrid are the one team. When I watched them quite a lot more so in the Liga. They just look comfortable.
Yeah,
they just look so comfortable. They don't look like they're ever under any pressure. Nothing. They just look comfortable. And I wouldn't be surprised, man. I know, and I think Bellingham's their top goal scorer as well, which is crazy. But I think they are the team that will cause havoc to any team that they come up against. Even City, I think if they come up against City, they'll brush them aside because they're that comfortable. I think on the pitch.
That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. What do you think of? I know they're not really doing well. Well, I say not doing well. They're second, so not bad. But knowing how they dominate Bundesliga, Bayern.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I think they're always in and amongst that mix. Do you know what I mean? I think for them it's going to be crazy because obviously Thomas Tuchel, we know he's leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, as painful as it is for me to say this, does deserve a major trophy.
He needs one.
Now, whether that's the Champions League or not, I don't know. But they've obviously got Jamal Musiala as well, who I love. I want to see him come back to the Premier League at some point. Leroy Sané's still there. They've got some good play. I mean, they've still got the squad to do a job. I just can't overlook Real Madrid. I just can't, man. And I think for them, the only good thing for Bayern is that they can kind of see the Bundesliga like creeping away from them. Do you know what I mean? Leverkusen are just running away with it now.
Yeah.
I think they might switch their attention to the Champions League and say, look, we ain't winning that league. Let's put all our effort into getting that Champions League. Maybe for Thomas Tuchel, maybe for Harry Kane to be the senior head in that team. But yeah, I can't see past Real Madrid, man. I'll be honest.
No, to be fair, I'm with you. The thing is, with Madrid, the reason I always, when it comes to Real Madrid, so I have a weird luck. I don't know how to say it. Luck's not luck because it's not my team winning it. I have a weird thing about predicting when Real Madrid win Champions League. I'm just not brave enough to put money on it and actually make money on it. But when they did the 3-peat, when they beat Liverpool, when they won it again in 2021, I said at the beginning of the year that they were going to win the Champions League all those years.
I'm sure you did. I remember you saying it.
And the reason I say that is because the thing about Real Madrid here is you can always look at their season and you can see how it's going. And there's always something about them that you just know they're just on their way to just get on, grab another one. It's like when Girona were top of La Liga, Girona were doing great, but it was like, you know they're coming. You just know they're coming.
It's like a horse race, isn't it? You see the horse race, you know that the favourite ain't always at the front of the pack. And then as soon as you get to that final hurdle, boom, the favourite's there.
It's sitting. And it's like Bellingham is always scoring last-minute winners. And even when they're having a disastrous day, they somehow pull out a winner out of nowhere. They still got the quality of Modric and Kroos, even though they're still experienced in their latter years. Yeah. And you've got the youthfulness of Valverde, who is one of the best midfielders in the world.
100%.
Tchouameni, You know what I mean? Camavinga, you look at the defense, Alaba, Rudiger, Ella Militao, like,
and let's not forget, they still got Endrick to come as well.
Edric's coming, Courtois coming back from. There's just so much quality, and it's likely that if Mbappe does ever actually leave PSG, there's one destination. You know, like there's just something about that squad and that team that just keeps going. I don't know. I haven't even mentioned Vinicius. I haven't even mentioned his name yet. Like there's so much they've got going on, and you look at their forward line, and the only place they're lacking right now is striker, because I haven't been able to really replace Benzema yet. So they got Jose Lu in, but even him. He gets winners every now and then. And when they're doing stuff like that, there's something in the air. And when I'm sitting at home and I'm watching them, I'm like, they're doing it again. Just doing it again. When they beat Liverpool in the final, I was on free midfield with a local fan called David, a very good friend of mine. And I couldn't give him a reason as to why Real Madrid were better than Liverpool. He was giving me reasons at that time why Liverpool was so much better than Madrid. But I kept using the same word. I said, bro, no matter what you tell me, it's destiny. You can't stop the power of this club when they go for it. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I cannot tell you what it is. But when it comes to that season, you smell it in the air. You're just like, flipping out, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it, man. They're going to do it. And don't forget, this is Luka Modric's last season at Real Madrid as well. So
they offered him a new contract.
Oh, I swear.
They've offered it to, I don't know if he's going to sign it or not, but they want him for 1 more year.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
That's how you know when fire and wine don't go off and it's there, man. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna go for Real Madrid as my winner, ultimate winner of the Champions League. I've actually backed them, so they better do it now as well. Backed them early on in the group stages. But FA Cup this weekend as well. FA Cup, Premier League. Just looking at the fixtures now, there's a lot of obviously postponements for the accommodation of the FA Cup. But let's do a couple of predictions, mix it up a little bit with the Premier League and the FA Cup this weekend. Luton Forest to Luton. I mean, Luton, Jesus, man. Jesus, Luton. How do you go 3-0 up and then go on to lose?
Could not believe what I was watching. Could not believe it.
Man, I didn't even watch it after 3-0. I seen the Barkley goal going, and then I can't remember who else scored the third one. I thought, these men, they brushed them aside. But yeah, man, Luton got done over like an apple turnover. I'm telling you, right?
Big bottle jump, boy.
Big bottle. That's a massive game, though. That is a massive game this weekend for both clubs. Luton, 21 points. Forest on 24 points. Luton 18th, Forest 17th. This is probably the one game that they cannot afford to, go 1-0, 2-0 up and then let Forest back into the game. They have to get 3 points in this game. What's your thoughts on that fixture?
No, you have to win. So you have to win. The good thing for them I said the good thing. The thing that they had at that advantage when they were winning 3-0 was that they climbed out of relegation. So yes, and goal difference, but that means everything. Sometimes listen, I know better than anybody what goal difference means right at this point. You know what I mean? So, you can't not take that into effect. So when you're winning a game 3-0, the one thing you need to do is, if you're going to shot, really need to shot.
Yeah, 100%.
And the way they capitulated was bad. And the thing about Forest is Forest are very inconsistent with their results, but that's the issue. You don't know when the win is coming, and then out of nowhere, they hit you. And when they hit you hard. When Forest win, they score 3, 4, 5. They don't score 1 or 2. Yeah, they score goals.
And that's gonna hurt their goal difference for Luton. If they concede, they conceded 4 on midweek. If they concede another 3 or 4, you know what I mean? You got Burnley down there still scraping points. Although I think they're down and out. But you look at Everton as well, 25 points, 16th place. So both teams have to get a result. A draw is not good enough for either club at this precise moment.
Completely agree. So we'll see what happens with them. But their confidence, the manager's got a big job to lift up, because 3-0 at halftime, I'm sure they were saying, yeah, keep it up, good work. And they put it to they went to the bin. So
their heads went to Mykonos. I don't know where they went. We weren't on that pitch at the Vitality anyway. But,
no way.
But yeah, let's go to the FA Cup. Wolves versus Coventry, a Midlands derby to an extent. I don't know, man. I feel like Coventry might get a result here. I'm not going to lie. I really do feel like Coventry could get a result.
That's an interesting one. Coventry. Actually, no, I do have a lot of respect for Coventry. Growing up, they were a Premier League team as well. and they've got quite a bit of history about them. They're a good side, man. So I'd hope they win. I'm always here for a giant killing, so that's fine by me. But Wolves are weird, man. You don't know what. I think you said it. You just don't know when Wolves are going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no clue. You have no clue. So, but I'll go for Wolves win. I think they'll still pass by Coventry, to be honest on that one.
I'm gonna leave the City Newcastle game because I feel that even if City put out the youngsters, I feel like can talk about it, but I feel like City will easily push aside Newcastle at the Etihad.
Yeah.
I can't really see anything else. Although Newcastle did play well. Isak, I thought, had a really good game. Obviously, Gordon came off, I think, injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out for actually, but he's in the England squad, so he can't be out for that long. But yeah, I can't see anything past the City win for them, man. They're too powerful, dominant, and obviously they got a record to try and catch up with Liverpool, and United has been one of the best in the country, so they got to win that game there.
Yeah, they do.
Where are we? My iPad decided to do a bit of nonsense, but here we go. Yeah, so what games are here? Premier League. Yeah, the Premier League. So we've only got one game, man. One game on Sunday. West Ham, Villa.
Don't know which West Ham going to turn up. That's the annoying thing about them as well.
I say you.
Bias.
The West Ham fans need the West Ham that turned up last night because they were just on fire. Like they literally everything they touched was just going in. It was almost like anytime they attacked, it was going to be a goal. And I thought, they just looked superb, man. Like Bowen, Kudus, they all just done their jobs, man. All of them, every single one of them knew what they had to do. They passed the assignment. So it's strange though, because I feel like they can do that to teams in Europe, but when they come to the Premier League, they could play Villa and they might just crumble. So you got, again, like very like similar to Wolves, you just don't know, man. You just don't know what team's going to turn up.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because you look at the performance against Burnley and how, especially that first half, horrendous first half. And then they come back and make it 2-2. But even the second half was very up and down. You go against Freiburg and you rip them to shreds. It's very weird with West Ham. But if West Ham turn up against Villa, look, I'm not saying they can easily beat Villa, but Villa realise they've got a game on their hands. I'm gonna go for West Ham win on this occasion.
Yeah,
I was gonna go for Villa at first because I think Villa are better, and they're sure to be better this year, especially. But for some reason, I feel like they're just gonna drop points again. It's a weird one. Just when they look like they're catching form again, Villa, they suddenly fall off again. But they still got elements like Douglas Luiz and Bailey, and we'll see what happens with Watkins if he's fit to or not. Yeah, so but they got a good team as well, but they're still a bit inconsistent. And I will say this: nothing comes good when you have Clement Longley in your defense. Nothing ever good. Nothing.
Listen, I think he was shot to come on yesterday. To be fair, but I agree with that 100%. I think Ollie Watkins will be a big loss if he's not in that team. But as you said, they've got Duran who played well, had multiple chances last night. In Europe, and obviously Leon Bailey playing the form of his life at the moment. So anything can happen there. I am going to go for a West Ham window because I feel like West Ham, if they can keep that momentum from yesterday's game and put that into the Sunday performance, I think they'll get 3 points easily there. But big games on Sunday, FA Cup, man, could be all or nothing for two clubs here. Chelsea are up against Leicester first at Stamford Bridge.
Do it.
Well, it takes us back to the final a couple of years ago when the goal that shouldn't have been allowed for Leicester went in, and then we got a goal disallowed. I can't remember who it was who handballed it. I think it was Tillemans who handballed the ball. I can't remember who went on to score, but it was a handball anyway. And then we had a goal ruled offside in like the 90th minute. Ben Chilwell, that was onside. So it's taking us back to that final, bit of PTSD for Chelsea fans there. I think we should beat them. My only worry is, do we underestimate Leicester?
You cannot.
And you cannot do that. You can't.
And look at the way they play football this year. You cannot. So if you go and underestimate them, then you're getting done for. Absolutely. I'm saying that right now. They're top of the championship for a reason. They're damn good.
Oh, they're battering teams. And I think the only other worry is that we're playing at 12:45, which I never like those early kickoffs because they just, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's a superstition for me, but them early kickoffs just never go well for us. So I am going to go Chelsea win. I'm not going to give a scoreline, but I feel like we should be able to get a result there. We've had a week off, really, like almost a week off, haven't played since Monday. So we got to get a result there.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. But that's me looking at Chelsea the last couple of weeks and thinking that they've got their serious caps on now. Yeah. So I think it'll be okay. But yeah, we'll see we'll see what team it turns out. That's the most important aspect. I think we all have an idea of what Chelsea's best 11 is. Is whether Pochettino wants to stick to that best 11. That's where the problem is. That's where it is. And you've got international break coming up as well, so there's no reason to not play your best team.
This is what I was saying to someone yesterday, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm sure we'll hear about press conference about injuries in a couple of hours whilst we're recording this on a Friday. But massive game, man. I'm looking forward to this one more so, to be fair. United versus Liverpool, Old Trafford, 3:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
All or nothing really for you, man, because it's either this now, you're not winning the league. Do you know what I mean? You could get into Europe, but in terms of trophies, this is it now, isn't it? So
I'm glad you're enjoying it because
listen, I'm a neutral, man. I'm on the fence, innit? I'm not winning nothing either.
Yeah, I have no intention of enjoying this game. I will actually do. I want to enjoy the game. I don't think I will enjoy the game. But hey, look, we're here. I still think this Liverpool team can be got at. So I'm not going to approach the game with fear. But I was told that, guys, it's Old Trafford, man. We should give them a game. I went, guys, pull them. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'll predict it away from my team like I always do. But it's me praying. It's me praying.
The only thing I'll say before you wrap up is Liverpool surprisingly put out a very strong squad last night, being obviously through the tie already. They didn't need to do that, and they put out quite a relatively strong squad and was able to bring on the likes of Van Dijk to give them minutes. So you'd expect them to have players ready and fresh for this game on Sunday. The only good thing again though is United have had that extra time to prepare for the game. And United are picking up some sort of form as well a little bit at the moment in the league. So I think it's hard with these games because it could just be a 0-0. Do you know what I mean? It could just be one of those really sort of hard cancelling out each other, not really many chances in the game. But I'm not gonna give a scoreline, but I think United will nick it. I just think Liverpool at some point something is gonna have to give with that squad, whether they have to put down a tournament to focus on the league and obviously the Europa League as well. So yeah, I don't know, but they're gonna have to put down something at some point for me.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll see what happens. Look, this is our last chance to try and grab something. So yeah,
I have. Yeah. I've heard that sign many times before in this house. I know that sounds like it's normally me, but yeah, thank you everyone for listening. If you haven't already, as I said at the start of this, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the like on this video. Make sure you head over to Free Midfield as well. Subscribe over there. Kojo is doing brilliant stuff on that channel. So make sure you go over there, check it all out. If you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, hit the notification bell. New episodes usually every Friday. So make sure you keep that locked in and we appreciate it. We'll be back next week for another episode, man. Thank you very much for listening.